Hello, my name is Nur Athirah binti Thomas, matrix number 2020454666. I will talk about the country that our group chose, which is the Philippines. Philippines is a country in Southeast Asia. In the Western Pacific Ocean, it is an archipelago consisting of more than 7,000 islands and islets lying about 500 miles off the coast of Vietnam. Manila is the capital, but nearby Quezon City is the country's most populous city. The Philippines are named after Philip II, King of Spain during the 16th century Spanish occupation of the islands. The Philippines has numerous cultural affinities with the West because it was under Spanish rule for 330 years and then under US tutelage for another 48 years. During the last quarter of the 20th century, the country was torn apart by political unrest. After more than a decade of authoritarian rules under President Ferdinand Marcos, the People Power Movement launched a peaceful rebellion against the administration in 1986. The crash led to Marcos' deposition and exile, as well as restoration of democratic rules in the Philippines.
Hi, my name is Shahyren Samuil. I will explain the background of political and economy, especially in Philippines. The first point is Philippines became Spanish colony during 16th century. It's due to influence by the period rule of both Spain and United States, and Spanish rule relied heavily on local intermediaries, setting up a system dominated by elites. Then were surrendered to the US in 1898 following the Spanish-American War. The second point is in 1935, Philippines are governed by Manuel Quezon, which is the first president in Philippines and became self-governing commonwealth. Next is on 1946, Republic of Philippines achieved independence and Ferdinand Marcos was the president almost 20 years and ended his ruling on 1986 after Manuel Quezon. Next, on 1922, Fidel Ramos was elected as a president of Philippines, and his ruling is not durable and being replaced by Joseph Estrada. Today, the Philippines are being ruled by Rodrigo Duterte since 2006 until now. Okay, the next point for the economy in Philippines is before the independence of Philippines, they usually trade for goods such as gold, rice pots, and other products. They usually use bartering system during during that time. The barter system was the most implemented at the time. Next is, as we know, the currency in Philippines is known as peso. Today, economy of Philippines are the third highest in Southeast Asia, following by Singapore and Indonesia, which we can see in nominal GDP. The last point is the main primary export by Philippines is coconut oil, fruits, transport, equipment, garment, and many more. That's all from me. Thank you.
Social background and cultural aspect. Philippine society is characterized by many positive traits. Among these are strong religious faith, respect for authority, and high regard for a more proper is self-esteem, and smooth interpersonal relationship. Next is cultural aspect. The Philippines is a culture in which East meets West. The Filipino people have a distinct Asian background with a strong Western tradition. The modern Filipino culture developed through influence from Chinese traders, Spanish conquistadors, and American rulers.
Domestic issues. Serious human rights abuses continue to rampage in the Philippines, especially matters regarding the country's domestic issues. Some of these issues stem from the government's war on drugs, internal corruption, unjust killings, and violation of basic human rights. Drug war killings and the International Criminal Court. The ICC granted the prosecutor's request to open a formal investigation into alleged crimes against humanity in the Philippines. The decision echoed claims by various right groups that between 12,000 and 30,000 people have been killed in the drug war. The government's own data shows that more than 6,000 people were killed in a coordinated police operation from 2016 to 2021. Killing of activists, right defenders. The country's 52 years long communist insurgency continued in 2022 as government security forces frequently target leftist activists, peasant leaders, environmentalists, lawyers, media groups, and indigenous group heads. Government and military officials often red tag such individuals through announcement and social media, putting them at grave risk of attack. These police raids and deadly attacks escalated after the president publicly ordered law enforcement officials to finish off communist insurgents. Children's right. Philippine civil law sets out that a person can only be legally married at the age of 18. However, this law does not apply to Muslims. Under another law, a Muslim boy can be married at the age of 15, while a girl can be married off when she reaches puberty. According to the UN, 1 in 6 Filipino girls are married before the age of 18. This problem was stemmed from the delay to raise the age of sexual consent from 16 years old from the current 12 years old. Philippines currently has the lowest age of sexual consent in Asia and in the world.
Hello, my name is Chelyin and I will talk about the conclusion. To summarize, the Philippines has posted a mixed record of economic growth and development since the end of World War II, while one of the richest countries in ASEAN. Now, Philippines has fallen behind many developing ASEAN countries. We can see that many of the downturns of Philippines have resulted from domestic issues.